Hi everyone, Witch Hazel here, and today I wanted to talk to you about altars. Um, there's been a lot of stuff recently I've seen on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and people asking me about altars. And this does seem to be one of the things that we get our knickers in a twist about sometimes, particularly when we're starting out. The truth is, as a species, humans seem to like to have altars, whether that's a surface with a load of family portraits on it, um, which then is effectively an ancestral altar, or when you were kids, maybe we put our collection of favourite dolls or stickers or Star Wars figures out on the side. That's an altar as well in its own way. But we're talking here about a witch's altar, and it can be as large or as small as you like, or as you have room for as well. I've had altars that are no bigger than this disc of wood you're seeing here. This one, though, if I just pan the camera back slightly, you can see, in fact, it is that rock and roll of items, a chest of drawers. Yay! So we'll talk a little bit about what goes on the altar and the positioning. When I'm saying all this, though, don't feel that this is a rule, this is a law, you can do whatever you like. People tend to favour putting your altar either in the north or on the east side. North represents earth, the east is air, so that's your thoughts or your sort of your practical side, I suppose, by putting it on the north. This one happens to be on the north, although from house to house it does vary. So we have our pentagram here. This is what you use to charge items. I often lay out tarot cards on them when I'm doing my own readings. And it's kind of your working surface. I've chosen wood because I like natural materials. As you can see, I couldn't quite find what I wanted in the stores. Mine is a work in progress. It's not fully decorated yet. But I love the idea of making my own, because then I'm putting my own energy into it. So if I just pull back ever so slightly, you will notice I don't have a fancy altar cloth. I just leave it relatively clear and then I can dust it quite easily. I sound like such a housewife. But what I do have is this gorgeous sort of Eastern inspired, actually it's a placemat, bought in a high street shop. So your altar stuff doesn't really have to be expensive. Now, marking the 4 directions, we have at the back there, we have a little blue crystal ball. I don't really use that one for divination, but that does make a perfect representation of earth for me. And then to the right there, we have the bell that represents air in the east. Down here at the bottom there, we have a candle for fire in the south. And to the left of the shot there, we have my chalice filled with water for the west. Now, a lot of these tools are kind of multi-purpose. I can do divination with the crystal ball, although it is a bit small. I do have a slightly larger one that I prefer to use for that, although it's not my preferred method of divination, full stop. The bell is often used when I'm doing cleansings, of course. The chalice there, I'm going to show you this chalice because it's absolutely gorgeous. And thank you to my mum for buying it for me. I had a very sort of spiritual moment at the Roman Baths in Bath in England. I went there with my mum and dad. I think one of my brothers was there. It's on my blog if you want to read about that. But my mum was looking for a Christmas present for me, and this called out to both of us. It's got the Gorgon's head on it, which you can see there, which is one of the famous symbols of the Roman Baths there. So that's my chalice. When performing the Great Rite, that's the chalice that gets used. It's full of water, as you can see, not just for the element of water, but as a reminder that my cup is always full. And then if we skip to the back, they're talking about chalices. The chalice is a symbol of the divine feminine, but I do have a little pot-bellied cauldron there. I sometimes burn incense in it, but more often than not, it just sits there. And then if I just angle the camera, we have a piece of antler representing the horned god, or the divine masculine. Of course, I wouldn't be a witch if I didn't have my incense at the back. Actually, that one's burnt out. And in case you're wondering about the cat behind the blind, that was my old cat, Coulthard. He wasn't my familiar, but he was a dear pet, and I still miss him even after all these years. So, what else do we have on the altar here? Well, if I pan you around here, we have one of my illuminator candles. In fact, we've got two there. We have a salt lamp. That one can also double as earth if I wish it to, of course. But I just love candles, and where am I going to stick them if not on my altar? There is at the back there there we go, my working cauldron that I use. And I do in fact have a really cool stand that I can put it on as well. And the flower arrangement is because we've got Litha coming up, and these are some of the colours and flowers that I wanted to use: eternal life and passion and love and sex and joy and all that kind of thing. Moving around. This side of the altar is a little bit more fun. This is where I will often lay my Book of Shadows when I'm working. My crystal ball is there. I can imagine there's going to be some people going, oh my God, she's not got it covered. Like I said, it's not really my preferred method of divination. But when I am going to use it, I cleanse it, consecrate it, charge it by the full moon, and then use it properly. But I don't really use it. It's just beautiful. This corner, the sun and the moon, and just some fairies. They're Froud fairies, Brian Froud, who I had the pleasure of meeting at Fairy Fest a few years ago. If you've ever seen the films, the Jim Henson films, Labyrinth or The Dark Crystal, he did a lot of the artwork for those, and the conceptual designs, and they are his fairies. And then I've got my shell there with salt in it, for purification. It's getting a bit low. I need to top that up. So there you have it. Like I said, that's my altar at the moment. It does change depending on what's going on in my life. And as I add and remove items, just for the heck of it, really. So that's my main working altar. Please, please, please show me yours. I've shown you mine. Come on, fair's fair. But if you're thinking, well, that's a bit big and I don't have room, please don't worry about it. My first altar was, like I said, a little table no bigger than my pentagram there, that I still have. It has a lamp on it at the moment and it fills it up. There's no room for a coffee mug. So that was what I started out with, something that size there. So I'm going to leave you to have a think. Let me know what's on your altar, like I said. And until next time, everybody, blessed be. And I'm going to leave you with a really cheesy business shot now. Oh, yeah, there's my business card. Until next time, everybody, blessed be.